a invitar a Tommy, quiero presentarles a Tommy. Tommy es el director de International Sports en Saddlebrook. Lo conocí hace unos años atrás y la verdad que el programa y la academia me han impresionado mucho, y por eso me tomé la osadía de poder hacer un convenio entre la Federación Peruana de Golf y Saddlebrook. Vamos a hacer una breve presentación de algunos case studies de 4 niños, incluido una peruana que es Luisa María Mesones, que está estudiando ahí desde enero de 2018. Y de ahí vamos a pasar un video de la academia, y al final vamos a hacer una rifa para una semana gratuita para un summer camp cualquier semana que ustedes quieren para cualquiera de sus hijos. Dejo a Tommy. Tommy, thank you very much for being here, man. I appreciate that, and it's all you, man.
Thank you, thank you. I want to thank everyone for having me here today. Perdóname, mi español no es bueno. So thank you to Sebastian for helping me translate today. What we wanted to do here today is to help express to you some of the theories and training methods that we've had over the past few years to help create champions specifically with our golf program.
Lo que se basa en esta conferencia es de hablar un poco acerca de cómo Saddlebrook se ha encargado de crear campeones y formar buenos estudiantes atletas, ¿no? Que es al final lo que todos estamos buscando, que nuestros hijos sean unos estudiantes atletas, y por eso estamos acá.
So today we've decided to take 5 of our students, 5 players that I've helped coach at our program over the last 3 years. So a small case study to show you guys how we've helped with these players. Once we've gone through some of these players and their stories, we'll show you a brief video that Golfing World, which is a worldwide golf company, came to do for us as an editorial. So we'll go through the 5 case studies, and then we'll show you a life inside their training in a video, and we'll go from there into the raffle.
Como le dije anteriormente, vamos a hacer 5 case studies de 5 niños que he entrenado en el grupo Elite. Algunos de ellos ya están, se han combinado en universidades tales como Stanford, y bueno, aquí empieza la presentación.
Before we get started, one last thing to express to everyone here is that there are many different ways to get to be champions in golf, and for us, we work with many different countries. So in this presentation, you'll see students that have come to America from different countries around the world to try to become the best they could at golf. So it's an international game, as everyone here sees, being the South American Championship, a lot of different countries being represented. And so these are how some students from different continents across the world have all come together to try to be the best that they can be. So to get started, first player that we're going to show you today, this is Jun Lee. I started coaching Jun Lee in 2015. He was the first player that we had go into this new program that we started for elite players in golf.
Jun Lee de Corea del Sur lo empezó a entrenar en el 2015, llegó a la academia, llegó con un ranking de 2034, estaba en el WAR y no tenía ni una victoria.
When he came, as Sebastian said, when he came in, he was not ranked in the United States and ranked very high in the World Amateur Golf rankings. And when he first came in, he wanted to be the best golfer he could be. And so what we did is we helped him by training, preparing for tournaments, and playing some of the best tournaments. One of the things that's so special about Jun is he was the first player in America to go from unranked to #1 in the country in 1 year.
Lo interesante de Jun Lee, el jugador de Sur Corea que estuvo 3 años en Saddlebrook Academy, llegó sin estar rankeado en el ranking mundial y pasó de tener 0 rankings y 0 victorias a ganar 5 Major Medalist Tournaments. Ganó 2017 Future Invitational y se convirtió en el jugador #1 del mundo.
He just graduated, he's now currently a freshman at Arizona State University, where they're going to try to win a national championship.
Ahora está en una universidad muy prestigiosa que es Arizona State University, y como pueden ver, su nivel de golf pasó de estar, como lo repite, ¿no? De no estar rankeado a ser uno de los mejores, el mejor jugador de amateur del mundo.
Wanjun took advantage of the American Junior Golf Association. The American Junior Golf Association, the AJGA, has rankings once you get into their open and invitational events that are ranked worldwide in the World Amateur Golf Rankings, as well as here, the Polo rankings. So as you see here in some photos, whether it's AJGA tournaments or the FootJoy Invitational, the United States Junior Championship, which is the junior version of the US Open, or the Asia Pacific World Amateur, which is equivalent to the Latin American Amateur, granting players an exemption to the Masters. We use a variety of different types of events to help players maximize their rankings. So, whether it's playing in American tournaments, or whether it's American tournaments, whether it's the USGA, the AJGA, or international events, all these events help.
Lo que quiere decir un poco Tommy es explicar que Saddlebrook ayuda a entrar a la AJGA. Muchos padres de familia les cuesta que sus hijos puedan acceder a estos torneos porque tienen que estar rankeados para jugar estos torneos. Entonces, la academia hace un trabajo con el estudiante y signing them up, o sea, inscribiéndolos y llevándolos a jugar qualifiers para que ellos puedan acceder a ese torneo, porque esta gira de la IAG es la gira más importante que hay en Estados Unidos de Junior y es la que te da los puntos suficientes para poder estar en el Polo Rankings.
The next player that we have is Aline Crowder from Germany.
Aline Crowder de Alemania llegó con una victoria y llegó a Estados Unidos a la academia de golf en 11th grade con un puesto de 678 en el nivel mundial.
As Sebastian said again, when she came in, she was going to be a junior in high school, and she did not have any status in America and an average world ranking. Aline graduated this last year. So she, this year, is going to be a freshman at Stanford University. She got her ranking to 45 in the country and had 2 major championships, including the European Match Play Trophy Championship in 2017.
Como ustedes pueden ver, después de 2 años en Saddlebrook llegó a estar del puesto 678, pasó al puesto 45, tuvo 2 victorias grandes. Y ahora está full becada en la Universidad de Stanford, que es una de las universidades más prestigiosas de Estados Unidos.
Next student that we have here in case study is Kavish Ferdinand, who came from Malaysia. If you can notice a theme here, there's many different countries, Asia, Europe, across the world. So,
Kavish Ferdinand es de Malasia, como pueden ver en la Academia de Golf tiene estudiantes de todas partes del mundo y se forma una buena camaradería. Llegó en 10º grado, no estaba rankeado en el WAR y no tenía ninguna victoria. Y después de 2 años, lo fue ganando.
Another thing very special about Kavish, he was the 2nd player to go from being unranked to #1 in the country. He did it the very next year. So in 2 years in a row, 2 players went from being unranked to #1 in the country.
Kavish es el segundo caso que tenemos de no estar rankeado a nivel mundial a convertirse en el jugador número 245. En abril del 2017 ganó el IJGA Polo Rankings en el 2017 y tuvo 3 major medalists, y también ganó el 2016 Junior Player Championship.
He currently has scholarship offers, and he's going to determine where he's going to play in college, but he still has 1 year left.
Aún no ha decidido dónde ir, pero le han ofrecido de varias universidades y está a punto de decidir la universidad, le está dando la mejor opción.
Some of the pictures here from some of the majors we talked about. This is the 2016 Junior Players Championship at TPC Sawgrass. And this is with Kavish with Sergio Garcia winning an AJGA Sergio Garcia's event.
Ganó el torneo que organiza Sergio García de la AJGA.
Next, again, the next player we have here is Carl Phillips. So Carl is from Australia.
Carl Phillips es de Australia, llegó en 8th grade y estaba rankeado en el puesto 2309 ya tenía 4 victorias. Este chico, y quiero mencionar y hacer hincapié sobre este chico, Carl Phillips, hoy en día es uno de los mejores jugadores del mundo. Hoy en día está rankeado número 1 del polo del AJGA Rankings. Ha ganado 8 victorias como el Orange Bowl. I think he won 3 Orange Bowls.
He won 1 Orange Bowl, 3 Junior Worlds.
He won 3 Junior Worlds, 1 Orange Bowl, 1 Polo Championship. He won in 2017 Southern Amateur and Winham Invitational.
A couple of records, and so this is another thing. So we started with Juan Jun. Juan Jun was the first player to come to the United States and be unranked and become the #1 player in the world. In 3 years, we had 3 players go from unranked to #1 in the world, 3 years in a row. It's very special.
3 años seguidos, Saddlebrook pudo tener de jugadores que no estaban rankeados en convertirlos en jugadores rankeados y de los mejores del mundo, como el caso de Carl Phillips.
And Carl is right now the #1 player in the world.
Ahora mismo Carl se encuentra en la posición número 1 del mundo a nivel amateur.
And he still has 2 years left of high school.
Y aún le quedan 2 años más de high school. Sí, es una promesa increíble. Yo he estado con el chico y la verdad que es un espectáculo. Cómo lo preparan y la mentalidad que tiene es impresionante, ¿no? Y lo bonito de poder compartir con jugadores como él, enseñan a uno y motivan a uno para ser como él, ¿no?
I'd like to tell you about a couple of pictures here that are very special. This picture here, Carl won the 2017 Southern Amateur as a freshman in high school, breaking the record, the youngest player to ever win that tournament. The record was held by Arnold Palmer and Bobby Jones.
Carl fue uno de los menores que ganó ese torneo y empató el récord con Arnold Palmer y Bobby Jones.
And in this tournament here, the Wyndham Invitational, you can see his score here. This is where they play, the PGA Tour event plays there. The PGA Tour plays the last tournament of the season at the Wyndham Invitational on this golf course. Carl broke the course record, beating all the PGA Tour players' record, won by 9 strokes.
Carl en ese torneo de Wyndham ganó por 9 strokes y pudo batir el récord, inclusive del torneo que juegan en la misma cancha los jugadores del PGA Tour. Él pudo batir el récord ganándole a todos los jugadores del PGA Tour.
Lastly, we have a player here who's playing the field this week. So a very good example of a player who's come from South America to be in the United States competing. And I'll let Sebastian take it away because he knows all about Luisa.
Bueno, todos conocen a Luisa Mariana. Luisa Mariana es un ejemplo a seguir. A su corta edad llegó a Saddlebrook en 8º grado. No tenía ni una victoria a nivel internacional y desde enero ha conseguido 6 victorias en Estados Unidos. Ha ganado un major win que ha sido el US World Team Championship en la categoría de 14 años. Ha quedado South American Medalist en el Open Championship, Junior Open Championship, y hoy en día está formada para ir al 9º grado y le quedan 4 años más de high school.
And so you may be asking yourself today, why are we talking about this? There's a very special reason why we're talking about this. In golf, there are many philosophies on the way that you swing the golf club. You go on to watch the best players in the world, Jim Furyk swings it much different than Tiger Woods. But what's very important is learning how to win and become a champion and training like a champion.
Ustedes conocen que el swing de golf, todos tienen un swing de golf diferente, hay swings más raros. Lo que hace la academia es entrenarte como un campeón. O sea, ellos no van a ir a cambiarte el swing ni van a hacer swings bonitos. Lo que ellos quieren es rodearte de campeones y sacar lo mejor de ti para que tú puedas lograr lo que ellos hoy en día están logrando.
Our philosophy is that everybody's swing is their own. And we don't try to teach everybody the same swing, because everybody's going to swing it differently. So our goal is to make the most with what that player already has.
El método de Saddlebrook entiende que cada golfista tiene un swing único y no es su función de cambiar el swing. Lo que hace Saddlebrook más que nada es empoderar al alumno con su mismo swing y tratar de trabajar sobre ese swing que tiene sin tratar de cambiarlo, y lo que más trabajan es la parte mental.
And why the reason we have this picture here is because these are three of the guys, Carl, Wanjun, Kavish. It's very important to learn teamwork as well, so you can help to push each other, you and your friends playing against each other, friendly competition. These guys were the first time there were ever three players in the same high school ranked in the top 10 at the exact same time. So they all helped each other get better.
Entre estos tres jugadores, como pueden ver, tienen 9 Junior Amateur Major wins y nunca antes un colegio ha tenido a 3 jugadores dentro del top 10 en Estados Unidos.
So anything you'd like to add to this? Anything specifically you want to add to this?
I think we're
So the reason why we wanted to show you this first, we're going to show you a video that Golfing World came to Saddlebrook to do with us because they were so impressed with the performances from these players, so that now you learn a little bit about them. This video was taken before all of this success. So this was 3 years ago that they took this video, and now you're seeing the results that they had after this video was taken.
Vamos a pasarles ahora a continuación un video en Golfing World. Es un programa muy conocido en Estados Unidos. Este video se hizo hace 3 años atrás para ver cómo habían trabajado con el semillero, y esto ha pasado hace 1 año. O sea que lo que van a ver en el video no es ni la mitad de lo que la Academia de Golf ha podido conseguir con tantos major wins y tantos jugadores en el ranking, en el top 10.
And this will give you a look inside the life of a player training at Saddlebrook.
Y esto lo que le va a enseñar más o menos cómo entrenan a los jugadores y cómo es la academia.
segments of our program operated together under the umbrella of Saddlebrook is very unique in the sense that there isn't another facility in the country that has that kind of operation.
After the morning in school, students attend sports practice and fitness sessions in the afternoon, aiming to prepare them for college golf or for many, ultimately, for professional ranks as well. It's like a golfer's paradise for me. Like, you know, I work really hard to play golf, and Saddlebrook is just, you know, one of a kind. Like, I can practice when I'm on the mountain.
There's everything that you can think of, from short game to long game, and it's just they have everything that you need to get better for golf.
It just gives you the opportunity to practice a lot, and I didn't have that in Germany. My main focus was in school in Germany, and now here I think school is relatively easy, and the access to this for courses, it's a really good opportunity to play every single day and just practice whenever I want to practice.
But it's not just golf that's catered for here. Saddlebrook is also a centre of tennis excellence, with alumni including former world number ones Andy Roddick and Jennifer Campiati.
Everyone that goes to Saddlebrook is
to play golf every single day, and yeah, it's really fun.
Bueno, ahora toca la rifa, la parte bonita. Quiero, por favor, que hagan algunas preguntas. Tommy ha venido de Tampa para hacer la conferencia. Hoy en día Tommy trabaja para Lageteer. Su abuelo es el fundador de la academia de golf, dueño del resort y todo, pero hoy en día Tommy está trabajando para una compañía que administra jugadores de golf. No sé si Tommy, you want to talk a little bit about Lageteer? Sure.
So, I'll let Sebastian translate again, so I'll get this back to him, but for those of you who speak English, I'll tell you a little bit about myself. I play golf. I played golf in Saddlebrook. I played college golf. I played professional golf. I ran the program in Saddlebrook for 4 years when we started this new league program. I also work with PGA Tour players. So I help manage players who are on tour. So part of our program is that once our players get to be some of the best college players, we then help them get onto the PGA Tour and PGA Tour exemptions. So for example, one of the players that I manage is John Rahm. So I work with John Rahm, and when John Rahm was at Arizona State, we recruited him to come through and got him 7 PGA Tour starts, which is the most you can have as an amateur. Because of that now, he's been as high as rank 3 in the world in the PGA Tour, and he makes a lot of money. So we're happy for John. I work with Phil Mickelson, Davis Love III, Aaron Wise, to name a few. So we have in total, this agency here that works with us at Saddlebrook, we have 48 players that are on the PGA Tour. So the ultimate goal for us is to take players from around the world and help them to become PGA Tour players.
Como decía, no trabajo para una academia, una agencia que administra jugadores profesionales. Hoy en día la empresa donde trabaja administra 48 jugadores del PGA Tour y saben cómo ellos están entrenando, saben cómo entrenan al equipo, y eso lo está tratando de transmitir al resort que él tiene con su familia.
Is there any questions that I can help anyone answer since we're here today about golf, different levels of tours, college placements?
Si quieren hacer una pregunta sobre College Placement Program, es cómo entrar a las universidades, alguna pregunta que tienen sobre la academia o que quisieran saber, por favor.
How many full-time students do you have right now?
In golf only we have 38. We had 38 last year. In the beginning of the year we start with a number, and then we have sometimes a couple of students will come in during the year. We're forecasting this year to start with 32 players and to be about 42 by the end of the year.
In your experience, at what age it's appropriate for a kid to be a full-time student in one of those institutions?
Very good question. It depends on whether they're a boarder or non-boarder, in my opinion. If you're a boarding student on your own, I think you should be at least 12 or 13 years old, which is a 6th grader or 7th grader.
Okay.
However, if you're with your family, I don't think it's too early to start practicing and training and working on your body. Whether it's not necessarily lifting weights, but it's learning motor patterns, throwing medicine balls, footwork, the things that are important to become an athlete. And it's never too early to start playing on the golf course or playing in tournaments. That's as early as that would go. To me, in my opinion, the most critical ages are between 14 and 17, because that is where you build your ranking, you showcase yourself to universities, which in my opinion, professionally, as a person who recruits amateurs from around the world to become PGA Tour players, is the best avenue to get to the PGA Tours through the NCAA.
Creo que entendieron todo lo que... Tommy, someone asked me why Saddlebrook comes and makes a joint venture with the Peruvian Federation. What do you think is the important part of getting this Saddlebrook in the map in South America?
Good question. The best players in the world in golf can come from anywhere in the world. There's no question about it. Another player who's not on this list, who I worked with at Saddlebrook, is Joaquin Neiman. So Joaquin Neiman would come and practice with us and train with us at Saddlebrook, and he's from Chile. So it's proven that it doesn't matter if you're from Chile, or you're from Europe, you're from Canada, you're from America. Everybody has the same opportunity. So for us, we want to build relationships with golfers from around the world and give everybody a fair chance to be the best that they can be.
Any particular reason why starting with Peru?
This guy.
Thank you. Quería comentarle que yo fui un estudiante de Saddlebrook, 17 años atrás estuve en la academia y les puedo contar sobre la experiencia que viví. Yo no soy muy vendedor, pero yo viví esa experiencia y la verdad que me ayudaron a conseguir una beca en una universidad y me ayudaron a elegir la universidad correcta para que pueda jugar y dependiendo cómo iban mis estudios, ¿no? Porque si no eres muy bueno en los estudios y quieres jugar en una muy buena universidad de golf, tiene que ser compatible y eso es muy importante, ¿no? ¿Dónde vas a estudiar y en qué equipo vas a jugar? Porque de nada sirve ir a la universidad que quieres ir, pero ser el número 8 del equipo y no poder jugar. Entonces la idea de que los 4 años que juegues en NCAA golf sería que estés jugando en el equipo, ¿no? La parte más fea es ir a una universidad y no jugar en el equipo.
I saw we had a question back here.
Alberto, question?
No, it was answered.
The answer. Any other questions? ¿Alguna otra pregunta?
Después de conocer a muchas academias, ¿cuál es la diferencia por la cual tendría que escoger Saddlebrook y no las otras?
Why would you pick Saddlebrook apart from all the other academies there in the world?
Good question. Saddlebrook is the only academy in America that has golf courses, golf training, dormitories, and the school on one campus. So a student doesn't ever have to get into a motor vehicle. You can ride your bike, you can walk anywhere, meaning you save time throughout the day, and you can spend hours extra either studying, practicing golf, or training in gym.
Como dice, ¿no? La academia es la única academia en el mundo que tiene los dormitorios donde comen, las clases, el gimnasio, las 2 canchas de golf y el driving range a una distancia de no más de 5 minutos caminando o menos si vas en bicicleta, ¿no? Lo bonito de la academia es que muchos chicos montan su bicicleta del colegio a la cancha de golf, de la cancha de golf al colegio, del colegio a su casa y se mueven todos en bicicleta.
And I'll be a little bit biased and talk about golf specifically for a second since I'm the golf guy. It's one of the things that's different about Saddlebrook that you won't find anywhere else. If you go to another academy anywhere in the United States, they're going to have a swing methodology. So they're going to teach you the swing that they employ rather than what you already have yourself.
El método de Saddlebrook es trabajar sobre la base del swing que tienes en las otras academias y por qué no ir a esas otras academias y elegir Saddlebrook es porque trabajan con el swing que tú ya tienes y sobre eso lo tratan de maximizar a un punto en que sea lo mejor que puede ser.
And I started that because I felt that. I didn't want anyone to change my swing to what they really thought. I thought they should make it the best to what I could be. And I think that anyone who's played golf realizes when you make a swing change how difficult it can be. And I think anyone who's seen what's happened with Tiger, the wear that can have on your body trying to change something that's naturally one way to become maybe unnatural for you.
Esto es algo que Tommy empezó apenas se graduó de la universidad, que veía que en las academias les estaban cambiando el swing a los chicos y los chicos iban por un determinado tiempo y regresaban más perdidos que antes. Entonces, lo que ha incorporado Tommy en el Elite Group y sobre todo en el programa básico que tiene es de trabajar sobre el mismo swing que tienes y no cambiarlo.
Ahora, la experiencia que tienen ustedes, ¿cuál sería la edad correcta o más o menos adecuada para que nosotros podamos enviar a los chicos?
Creo que esa pregunta ya la respondí, yo no la traducí, te pido disculpas. La edad crítica de un niño donde absorbe más es de los 14 a los 17 años. Si tu hijo va a estar o algún familiar tuyo quiere ir y va a estar en el boarding program, o sea, va a estar fuera de sus papás, lo recomendable era que sea mayor de 12 años. 12 years old, boarding. Y si vas con la familia y va a estar un guardián, creo que de los 9, 8 años.
When you mentioned the elite program and the basic program, how do you decide? I mean, how does, do you know what I mean? How many people in each group? How many people?
Very good question. So what we have is, it's the reason why we started this elite group, because in golf, whether it's college, professional, you have to earn the right to get your PGA Tour card. You have to earn your scholarship if you're in college. So to be part of the elite group, you do it through ranking and what your status is on the AJGA. You can do it one of two different ways, with your AJGA ranking status or with your World Amateur Golf ranking status. The reason for that is the players who are there, most of them are going to play in the AJGA, and we want to encourage them to do the best they can in the AJGA because that's going to help them get into college. However, if a player is coming from another country and they're already talented and they deserve the right to be with those players come day one, they're going to have a World Amateur ranking that's going to qualify for that as well. And that's also broken down into two categories based on their age. So whether they're an underclassman, which is 10th grade or younger, or an upperclassman, which is 12th grade or 11th grade.
Okay.
¿Y cuánto el tenis? No escuché mucho el tenis.
It's okay, we can tell. I can help you with tennis also. I had a roommate who was a tennis player named Jack Sox, so I had to hear about it all the
Te
time.
puedes quedar con él y te puede contar acerca del tenis.
O sea, decía en castellano después es porque yo se voy a tener que recoger a mis hijos en...
Ya, perfecto. Entonces vamos a hacer la misma ahorita. Last question.
La federación, el gran problema que tiene la federación con los chicos que estudian afuera son los permisos. O sea, las academias de golf en Estados Unidos están con alianzas con ciertos colegios. ¿Okay? Estoy en una academia y pertenezco a un colegio que está fuera de la academia. Entonces, cuando se requiere al jugador para que vaya a torneos, quien le da el permiso no es la academia, sino quien le da permiso es el colegio. Entonces tenemos, no solamente a nivel de Federación Peruana, sino de casi todas las federaciones sudamericanas, tenemos ese problema, que los colegios no les dan el permiso. Entonces no pueden los chicos jugar por su país. En el caso de Saddlebrook, ¿cómo funciona?
She's talking about federation. She's talking about that, and she's talking about the excused absence, and talking about how the golf academy and the prep school, they work together. Okay, and because other schools, they don't get them as much as an excused absence. Right? Excused absence.
So two-part question. The first part to that is traveling to tournaments, missing school. As we mentioned, one of the things special about Saddlebrook is having those programs together. It's the only academy that owns and operates its own high school that's fully accredited.
Esta es la única academia de golf que opera conjunto con el colegio. No es como Bishop o Cary Districts que es, o IMG, que el colegio es aparte de la academia de golf. Este es el único programa de golf que hay en Estados Unidos donde la academia de golf es parte del colegio. Entonces, entre ellos se comunican para poder brindarle las facilidades a los padres de familia que quieren, o a los chicos que quieren jugar torneos de su país o fuera de su país.
And so that means that every teacher, every professor that comes to Saddlebrook understands that they're going to teach only student athletes, meaning whether they're tennis players or golf players, they're going to be playing in tournaments. Luckily in golf, most of our tournaments are in Florida or in America. Unfortunately for tennis, they have to play in the ITF, meaning they're traveling around the world and missing a little bit more school than we do in golf.
Para el golf es más fácil porque los torneos se juegan en Florida y la academia de golf está justo en el centro de la Florida y los profesores que enseñan saben que los chicos van a faltar por torneos de golf. Entonces they're more lenient with the students when they have excused absences.
And then the second part to that question, which is very important, the reasons why I've been to, I think, 3 different continents, national championships, and we worked with national team coaches and federations with many of our players that come from national teams. And one of the things that we want to do is to make sure that a player still has the connection with their national team. So whether they're playing in national team events with their country or it's working on their golf game, making sure that their coach is involved with what's happening in their game, it's to team, it's all about understanding that everybody is going to support that player to make the player comfortable with whatever is happening with their training program.
Lo que está haciendo la academia es tener una comunicación constante con la misma federación y permite que el chico juegue en los torneos de federación, porque para la academia es importante que el niño y el chico viajen a estos torneos y que represente a su país, porque eso hace que la academia sea aún más valiosa.
So for example, here, just with some of these players that we discussed here, they were all part of national teams at one point. So although they would, yes.
Voy a dar mi experiencia en Saddlebrook. Mariana tiene que viajar mucho por los torneos. Entonces, ¿qué hace el colegio Saddlebrook? La hace ir 1 hora antes para que recupere las clases que ha perdido. Y 3 veces a la semana, después de clase, 2 horas. Le recupera todas las clases que ha perdido cuando está en torneo.
Claro, lo que hace la academia es te pone tutores, ¿no? Antes de que empiecen las clases y después para que los chicos que hayan faltado puedan recuperar esas clases.
Vamos a rifar ya
Quiero que el líder quiere.
If there's any more questions after, please come. I'm going to wait for 20-30 minutes. Please come see us.
How long are you staying here in Lima?
I'll be here for 4 more days until Saturday.
Go, Tommy.
Y el número ganador es el 4326.
para la raja.
El driver o no hay una fotito acá. Qué malo que no.
Yo pensaba que era otro gringo